Hi, I'm Augustus. I'm traveling the United States to listen to Americans I meet and to tell them about my candidacy for President of the United States in 2028. I'm here in Springfield, Illinois. I'm standing at a capitol that is a masterpiece of the French Renaissance style, a soaring structure that reflects the ambition of the prairie state. That kind of Illinois grit is exactly what I'm here to learn from, a place that knows how to build, how to grow, and how to weather the shifting winds of the heartland. This is a state that values the hard-won progress of its people and expects its leaders to show up and do the work. This is the 33rd capital of my 50 plus 1 capitals tour. My plan seems obvious and necessary to me, but for other presidential candidates, it could be considered unnecessary and maybe even a waste of time. The plan is to visit every capital in this country over the course of about 60 days, not to give motivational speeches, but to listen. I'm here to hear about the struggles of the family farms in the Central Plains, the rising property taxes making it harder for retirees to stay in their homes, and the small business owners from Rockford to Cairo who are wondering if the American dream is still attainable for those without a lobbyist in the room. Illinois is the land of Lincoln. It's a title that carries a heavy responsibility, a legacy of integrity, and the belief that a house divided against itself cannot stand. Illinois' strength isn't just in the shadows of the Chicago skyline. It's the pioneering spirit of the farmers and the industrial background of the cities that have fueled this country for generations. It's the community that looks out for one another when the storms roll across the prairie, standing firm together until the skies clear. But lately, that social contract is being frayed by a brand of politics that treats the Midwest like a data point on a map, a place to court for votes, but not to champion. While the political class is busy manufacturing outrage for the evening news, the people of Illinois are busy manufacturing the machinery, the food, and the innovation that keep this nation moving. They offer the nation static. You offer the nation substance. I'm standing here at the Illinois State Capitol. Its silver dome, standing taller even than the U.S. Capitol in D.C., is a beacon across the flatlands. It's a symbol of authority, but the real power of the state isn't in the ornate zinc sculptures or the grand staircases. It's in the resolve, the belief that state sovereignty, national union, is more than just a motto. This building was built by people who understood that a republic only stands if its foundation is rooted in the needs of the many, not the whims of the few. A dome that massive only stays up if the weight is supported by every pillar. Right now, the weight of this country is being shoved onto just a few pillars, the working class and the independent producer. And while those columns are buckling under their pressure, the people at the top are wondering why the foundation is starting to crack. We've all heard the speeches about the land of Lincoln, but for a family watching their local school struggle or their utility bills outpace their paycheck, the government isn't showing them much besides complexity and cost. I'm not here to stand in the shadow of Lincoln and tell you that the state of our union is strong simply because our history is proud. I'm here because for far too many of you, survival mode has become a permanent way of life. To lead Illinois, you have to have the courage to say out loud that when the working class loses its footing, the nation's center cannot hold. To be the leader of the whole country, you have to actually know the whole country. You have to marvel at the Great Lakes, like the vast Michigan shoreline that defines your northern border. Admire the views along the Pacific Coast Highway, cross the mighty Mississippi, and visit the beautiful Smoky Mountains. You cannot lead a people you do not know, and you cannot know the people from inside a high-flying jet, a speeding motorcade, or a gilded office in D.C. Having lived in 7 states and visited all 50 at least once before, I think I have a glimmer of understanding of who we, the people of the United States, are. But you can never stop learning. That's why I'm visiting each state again, and why I will continue to do so both during my campaign and during my time in office. Now you might be thinking, who is this guy? As I said, I'm Augustus. I was born in New York State 65 years ago. Like you, I've spent much of my life working. I've seen presidents come and go and industries rise and fall, and I've watched as the people who keep this nation functioning, the drivers on the I-55, the crews maintaining the power grid, and the staff at your local clinic, are treated like data points, not human beings. You may be asking yourself, is he qualified? The Constitution says I am. You need to decide for yourself what qualified means to you. To me, for instance, being qualified means working as hard as I can to help the most people possible. Think about the people who meet in this Capitol or in Washington, D.C. How many of them are qualified in your eyes? How many of them are working to make your childcare manageable or your fuel prices affordable? It seems to me that many representatives have forgotten the primary requirement of their jobs, remembering who they represent. They shouldn't represent the lobbyists, they shouldn't represent their party, and they definitely should not represent the ultra-rich. Your representatives and the President of the United States should represent you. Period. I stand for the people, not for corporations that treat employees like disposable parts, not for the rich and ultra-rich who treat the law as a suggestion, and not for the special interests who think their way is the only way. I believe in a land of freedom and opportunity, not a land where out-of-state interests squeeze the life out of the towns you called home for generations. Why consider an unaffiliated, unconventional candidate like me? Maybe because you're exhausted. You're sick of having to choose between generic candidate A and generic candidate B, neither of whom has had to decide between a medical bill and a mortgage payment. While a vote for a candidate who isn't a member of one of the two major parties can be scary, isn't it scarier to have to choose between bad and worse? Choose to vote for someone who will actually work to make your lives better. Vote from compassion, not fear. The motto of Illinois is State Sovereignty, National Union. It's a powerful promise of a people who believe in local strength and national unity. But lately it feels like that union is only for those at the top, while the welfare of the average worker is being eroded by rising costs and falling support. Abraham Lincoln once wrote that the legitimate object of government is to do for a community of people whatever they need to have done. Right now, that object has been lost. It's time to move past the rhetoric and ensure that the strength of Illinois isn't measured by the wealth of the lobbyists, but by the security of the families who are currently holding this country up on their tired shoulders. I'm headed to Madison, Wisconsin next. I have 17 capitals and many miles yet to go. If you see me in your state, don't just take a picture, come over and say hello. Tell me what's keeping you up at night. Tell me what you want for your children. I'm Augustus, and I'm here to listen. I'll see you in the state where you live. Vote for compassion, not hair in the face. Oh, I got a sticker from Dee Dee. How exciting. On, so it's not moving. Okay, maybe it'll move down. Starting again. Clean hair. Fast Michigan score is wherever that might be. I'll be there. Ooh. My right eye looks like it's squinting the whole time. I wonder why that is. Maybe because it can't see very well? Huh. Anyway, where am I? Oh.